A leading emerging market analyst sees reasons for investors to dip their toes back into China. David Riedel runs Riedel Research Group and is a former Salomon Brothers analyst based in Asia. David, great to have you with us. I think what's not getting that much attention is what happened last week at the National People's Congress and the efforts that China might actually get accomplished to boost consumer spending, which could be huge for a lot of these stocks.
Absolutely. I think it's really gone under the radar that there is a generational change potentially in China where they are planning to liberalize or considering liberalizing what's called the household registration program. So all these hundreds of millions of migrant workers that live and work in the cities really live in the shadows. They can't own property. They can't send their kids to local schools. They can't access healthcare or any of the other social benefits because their household registration is actually back home in their little town in rural China. So they are talking about changing that, which would unleash a huge amount of consumer demand for household goods, for apartments, for all kinds of things. So I think that if China gets that right, it starts to become investable in a way that I don't think it has been in the last 5 or 10 years.
At this point, David, would you say that the Chinese government itself or the U.S. government is the bigger risk to China's stocks?
I think the U.S. has kind of taken itself a little bit out of that risk. They played a game of chicken with Beijing a couple of years ago about audit and SEC and registrations and listings and so on and so forth, and China blinked. You know, China has been willing to inflict a lot of pain on their own market through the attacks on big tech and so on and so forth in the last few years. I think if Beijing backs away a little bit and gives people some confidence that they're not going to interfere, China could be in for a multi-year run.
Hey, David, it's Tim. It's great to have you because you've caught different pieces of this. You were very bearish on China in October of 22. It's great to have you back on what looks like a pivot. And if there's anyone I'm listening to on EM, it's you. And so I get back to some of the technical dynamics. We've heard about China's version of the plunge protection team. Basically, their government's going in and buying ETFs, and they're stimulating their market much in the same way we did here. What do you think about that? And I talked before about positioning for global investors. Big investors who, if they just change this much, are going to change, I think, the return profile of the asset class.
I think that's exactly right. But remember what China has going for it, right? They control 70% of their economy. They've got $3 trillion in reserves and building up their reserves all the time. So they've definitely got money to spend in Beijing to support different parts of the economy that they want to support. Let's not hope that they put their thumbs on the scale too much to really turn things over. But you're right. My clients have been out of China for years at this point. And I think some of them are starting to regret it, and they're starting to look at ways to get in. Where can I get comfortable with governance? Where can I get comfortable with valuation? Where can I get comfortable that Beijing's not going to insert themselves into an industry or into a company and upset the apple cart? If I can answer a few of those things in the affirmative, I've got a great opportunity to invest in China today.
David, I love your stemware. Geopolitical risk, South China Sea. I mean, what percentage do you put in terms of this thesis? You caught that, Mel, didn't you?
You just look at the film from last week. Chinese maritime authorities shooting water cannons at a Philippine fishing vessel, blew out the windshield and injured 4 Filipino fishermen. It is just a hair's breadth away from someone getting killed on either side of one of these aggressive attacks by China on the Philippines, on Vietnam, on the Taiwan Straits. It's just too dangerous for them to be operating at this kind of velocity. I'm actually leaving for Taiwan on Thursday, so I'll be able to report back next week when I get back on how things are feeling on the ground there. But I think everyone needs to be super careful and not trip into an inadvertent war in that region.